bar, Connie.
She's all right. It's a drill.
It's a drill.
It's a drill for the emergency response.
This is like start walking. I did the same thing. Taking pictures, filming. I don't want to walk out.
It's okay. Come on.
It's okay, come on.
Hey. There's your victim. You're the only one responding so
Oh,
far.
here's Christina.
I know, she would never get. I thought I heard something. I was tripping.
No, you're not tripping, honey.
Okay.
You're dead. Lay down. Lay down. You're dead. You're up. You're up.
Must have been the cop.
You just zapped yourself.
What the kind of number actually?
She just zapped herself.
Oh, she's after herself.
Maybe you put them, yeah. You need to get them actually.
Yeah, I don't want to touch her though, right? Because there's like a pulse
Can I
situation
go in
going
there?
on here.
Go ahead.
So what would you do?
Right half this one. See more. No, I don't want to unplug it though, because then I can electrocute her and myself, right?
Your call.
Sure call. Come on, Lanka. Play dead.
Okay. Power's off.
Power's off. I don't want to touch her or anything. Oh no, she's gonna burn too. Don't worry, I'll stitch
So, what's the first thing you should check?
her pulse. Right?
No. Besides her pulse, what else would you check?
Her breathing.
Okay. Patient is breathing.
Patient is breathing.
Now remember, you have a second victim here.
Oh crap, great. Can you please not die on me, ladies? I really don't
So,
want death in my world.
Check her breathing.
She's breathing, she's steady.
ERT. Be advised there's an additional ERT member down.
This one doesn't
Any
have
other
a pulse.
additional ERT members, please respond.
She's got a very slow pulse.
Cafeteria 112. Cafeteria male copy room 112.
Okay, so they're both breathing?
No, she's not breathing.
She's not breathing?
She's a shallow breath.
Okay,
She's breathing better than she's breathing.
okay. So by shallow, you mean
It's,
not very deep?
It's not very
or
deep, like it's
not
in-
very, or the rate? Are you talking about the depth or the rate?
the rate.
The rate.
seems a little slow. It's
Okay.
not as high as hers is. Hers
Okay,
is more normal.
so how would you check to see if she has adequate perfusion?
I want to put her on her back.
Actually, no, she's,
No? She's in the best
if she's
best
unconscious, we won't, she's in the best position. It's a modified recovery position she's laying in, so that's good.
Position. Okay. I'm so feeling. Do not show this in class.
How about 911?
No, can we call 911, please? But where's my ERT? I have no other ERT members.
We just called for additional members.
See, this really sucks. In the event of emergency, you guys are gonna die. Sorry.
Okay, so 911 has been called.
Okay, 911 has been called. In the meantime, I am going to sit here and make sure they are okay and nothing else changes with their status.
Specifically what?
Make sure their breathing doesn't get worse
Good.
and they don't go into any type of shock and
Good.
start going into seizure mode. Not one of you going into seizure mode right now. I don't got time for that. I know, clearly you can't tell patients this. I know. I have failed.
You can always cross your fingers, but that's
Cross
about
my fingers.
it.
Please live, ladies. Please live. Our ERT failed us.
I guess evidently you're not getting any help.
Okay, so
So you have two victims to manage yourself.
wait, nope, not on my own. I have a cell phone. Call 911.
Well, they've already been called. They're on their way. So what else can you do for them while you're waiting for 911? Monitor their airway, which
Yes.
you're doing.
But I don't want to move them though, right?
No,
Yeah, ideally
no.
I want to keep them in their
No.
position.
But how about giving them a little tap and calling their name and seeing if you can get a response out of them?
More, are you okay? Are you alright? How's your breathing? Doing alright? Okay. Alinka,
What
you
was that
okay over
laugh?
there? Alinka, you okay? Your breathing's doing fine. Help is on the way, ladies. They will come and save you. You'll live to tell the tale.
Yeah. Okay, so you should probably make a note of that, right?
Okay.
Yeah. Did she respond to you, correct?
Yes, she responded
Did
to
she
me.
respond to you?
She didn't respond to me.
Okay, so you need to make a mental note of that. And when,
Okay, because
Pass
already
that
her
on to
breathing was
911.
more, or her heart rate was a little bit lower versus hers. Like she seems to be okay versus this one. I'm not getting
So you
any
want to pay a
response.
little more
Okay.
attention to her, right?
Don't worry, assistance is going to come. We're going to get you back up and running in a matter of moments.
We'll have you back at work in no time.
Because we know you want to be back at work in no time.
And I need that pillow.
A pillow?
Christina, where's
Oh,
the pillow?
You need some head propping up. Well, see, she's got more breathing problems than you do, so you're fine.
Yeah.
You're okay.
Right.
You'll be all right.
I got neck issues.
Okay.
Okay.
So, it's
Go
okay.
ahead. Come on in.
So let's call this.
Okay, go on, girls. All right. Fail.
That's a hard floor.
That is.
Wish I had a little bit of fun.
At least you got the cushion.
All right.
Now, why did she go out? What'd she
Well,
do?
Because she,
Alenka always comes to our, she literally responds to every single emergency
So
app.
you can't touch a person that's
that's,
been
yeah,
electrocuted?
no,
Well,
you,
no, you had that electrical cord, it was plugged into the wall and it's still in your hand, so you're still being juiced. And by them coming up and tapping you or touching
she
you,
already electrocuted herself or shocked herself.
Poor thing.
See her trying to save your life, shocked her own self.
Right.
So, scene safety, remember I'm always talking about scene safety, scene safety, scene safety. Part of that is doing a global 360 view and making sure there's no hazards. And I do this drill to emphasize several things. One, sometimes hazards not so obvious.
Right.
And so you can't just come in and go through the motions and, I mean, you have to, I know this sounds kind of odd, but you have to see what you're looking at sometimes.
Right,
And number one. Number two, a lot of the times you get tunnel vision.
right.
You're focused on
On the
one
person,
thing,
yeah.
and you don't have that global view. And this is the kind of thing that happens. This is what you miss.
Right.
And this
Okay.
sometimes is a result of that.
So in this case, because this was kind of an electrical thing, for the most part, was this the best way to kind of handle the situation? Because like you said, we can't really touch them too much because like you said, she touched her and look what happened, she went out.
Right.
So then someone else comes in, clearly I see two girls on the floor, one with electrical cord tied to her, so I'm like, you probably shouldn't touch either one of them.
Right.
So is that pretty much kind of like the extent of that situation? You know, you just kind of make sure they're okay, their breathing's all right, and then you just kind of call 911 and then you just stay with them
Yeah,
until...
at this level, there's not a lot you can do for them
Right.
except monitor their airway and try and determine their level of consciousness.
Right.
And I know it's kind of drill, but when you check their level of consciousness, you're like, hey, it's more like, hey, you know, sometimes that's what it takes.
Yeah, you gotta be a
You need
little more
forceful
aggressive.
tap, or maybe even some painful stimuli. You know how to do that?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Or painful stimuli.
Okay.
Right, and sometimes if they don't respond to their voice, then you want to check painful stimuli and see if
They respond to
you
that.
get a response out of
Okay.
that. And then make a note of that, because that's part of the ABC.
And
Right.
write a special report, populate.
Response.
Go ahead.
Only defenses.
Go ahead.
Okay.
We'll do it. Because
Sorry.
And
And it was okay for her to
Additional
pull
thing
her
on
off.
side?
This was,
He said
So
it's-
what happened?
electrocution.
But you have to create a special.
Okay.
This is pretty simple to remedy by unplugging it, but in reality, most of the time, it's not that simple.
Right.
Usually, it's a wired, situation, and so you have to turn the breaker off
Right.
or something else.
And at that point, you need to have someone else here because someone needs to stay with the patient while someone goes and shuts that breaker
Right,
off.
right. Now, how would you determine what that
Maura.
breaker is? How would you determine what breaker to turn off? Because if you went in the electrical room right
I'd
now,
be direct.
there's probably 80 breakers.
Yep. Now I would just start.
They're labeled, right?
The
by
number right there?
the number.
See this number right here?
Ah, okay. Uh-huh. That's how I would identify
That's
it.
how you
Okay.
identify it.
Now, another question. I know you didn't throw this one out to you for safety purposes. What if we walked in and, for instance, there was still spilled water on the floor right next to the electrical cord in her hand? Then how do you?
I would have killed both of you off, because you were close enough that that would have jumped.
Right.
You can have an electrical arc, right?
Mhm.
And sometimes, depending on the voltage, the higher the voltage, that arc can sometimes jump out 3-4 feet.
Oh,
You were
okay.
much closer than that.
Yeah, I
here.
was very close to
But
her.
this is 110, so,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
So it's probably not gonna have arc out.
Okay. And in the event that happens, like you said, if there's like a wire thing going on and if I can't like pull the cord out, that's when we want to go and run and turn off the breaker because.
Yeah, I would probably really turn off the breaker first and
First,
grab
okay.
a hold of an energized cord.
Gotcha.
Because obviously there's an issue because she's down.
Right.
Right now,
Right.
the tricky part is determining, was that issue out here on the cord?
Mm-hmm.
Where her
Right.
hand was?
Mm-hmm.
Or was it somewhere else along the cord?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So by grabbing hold of the cord, you put yourself at extreme risk.
Right.
You may
Okay.
want to reconsider doing that.
Okay.
But for the purposes of the drill, I wanted you to turn the electricity off so you
Right.
can take care of it.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay.
I do have a question though. So we know that there is a number here, and that's the name of the circuit breaker.
So the total actually depends on the
What about,
CAC was around.
for me, I have no idea where can
Somewhere over.
Main circuit
Where the electrical rooms are?
Yes. So in case of emergency, if there's a limited person here, and we all know, we all doesn't know where the electrical circuit breaker is. So would that be something helpful that, there's a sign here, this where is it located at, things like that?
Well, it would be helpful, but it's not very practical because there's probably 1,000 of those
Yeah.
throughout this facility. So it's probably better for you to learn where the electrical rooms are, right? There's one right around the corner here. So that, you'd always want to go to the closest electrical room because that's more than likely where it's going to be. But it doesn't have to be. If you go there and you can't find that number, it's probably in one of the other electrical rooms. And so it becomes very difficult and very time consuming to have to go and track that down. But
Or call facility.
Okay, but what if you guys aren't around? It would still be good to know.
Security would know
Okay.
because I've guided security. So
And in the event, like you said, I was the only person here, and because we were waiting for 911, how in that point do we get 911 to get in here without me leaving the patients?
how do you?
Call for backup.
No? Well,
No.
hey, we called for that.
Right, and yeah. Mm,
call any bystander.
oh,
Very
okay.
good.
So if someone's
There's
standing
gonna
here.
be plenty of those around, I
Right.
guarantee you. There's gonna be gawkers, and look, we had some today already. right?
Yeah.
So, just make sure you make good eye contact with that person and say, hey, go escort 911 over to us
They're
here.
coming right
Yeah?
now.
Go
Okay.
bring 911 in here.
Okay.
And then make sure they acknowledge you.
Right. Okay.
But you almost have to establish eye contact with them. Because
Right.
here's what ends up happening. If you say, oh man, somebody go bring 911 in, her and I or your onlookers, pretty soon what's going to happen is you're going to say, man, where's 911?
And everyone's like,
You know,
Oh,
I'm
you
gonna
didn't
go,
call?
I thought you were going to get him. And she's going to go, no, I thought you were going.
Okay.
Right? So you don't want that to happen. So eye contact, point to them, give them clear, concise directions, and then ask them to acknowledge that,
got it.
and then send it.
Okay. Okay.
Fair enough?
Yeah?
Go back?
Yeah, thank
Okay.
you for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.